Olá pessoal, aqui quem fala é Cesar Brod, diretor de desenvolvimento regional do Linux Professional Institute, e eu estou aqui no FIC 2017 em Porto Alegre, junto com o John Maddog Hall e o Alex da Optimal Dynamics. A gente falou mais uma vez novamente aqui sobre as possibilidades de como se fazer dinheiro com software livre. E agora, dessa vez, a gente tem a grande oportunidade de que pessoas normais, que não tenham... Pessoas normais, todas as pessoas são normais, as pessoas que não são tão nerds como nós, tenham a oportunidade de também usar software livre, tomar conta da nuvem com seus próprios recursos e efetivamente criar o seu negócio com software livre. Então, com isso, eu passo a palavra primeiro aqui para o John Maddog Hall e eu vou pedir para que ele explique para a gente, então, ele vai falar em inglês, depois vou legendar isso, como efetivamente a gente pode tomar conta da nuvem e ganhar dinheiro com boa vontade com software livre. Maddog, please.
For years, I've been talking about the fact that we call it free software, but people would ask me, how do you make money with free software? And I would say, well, you can sell services, you can help educate people on it, you can make it meet their needs. But now we have another way that you can actually make money with free software, and that's to run the cloud software called Subtitled. This is a peer-to-peer, secure, private cloud software that allows you to sell excess resources that you have to other people who need them. And while you're exchanging these resources, you're building this concept that we call goodwill. And with goodwill, you can actually build more and more goodwill that you can give away to free software projects. And these free software projects can then use their goodwill to purchase additional computer resources for them. So even those people that cannot code, those people that are not documentation writers, can contribute to the free software movement by simply using Subtitled on their systems. Subtitled, of course, is free and open source software and is available online. It has been in use now for 6 releases. It is very stable, very secure, and very useful. And I'd like to introduce you to Alex Karasulu, the CTO and founder of the Subtitled software, and he will tell you about our router, which is an open hardware design that is available on the net. Alex?
Alex, you have been working with this for more than 5 years, right? So now you'll be able to, you have been able, by what you are coding with your group, to make this goodwill, how to make money for regular people using free software available. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and follow up of Maddog told us?
Sure. Well, we want everybody on this platform to be able to share resources securely that would otherwise be wasted. You know, you use about 2 to 3% of your computer at most. So we wanted people to be...
Okay, just continue on.
Sure. So as I was saying, we want people to make use of these resources and be able to contribute them to open source projects. And we have an internal currency called goodwill. And this allows people to trade and barter resources. And we've gone a little further with our cryptocurrency called Khan. John, maybe you might want to show them your tie, the Khan. This is the cryptocurrency called Khan.
And of course, we have the GNU and the Penguin, which represent free software. And then down below, we have our little mascot for Subtitled, which is the name of the software itself.
So we're here because so we stand on the shoulders of giants, you know, Linux, GNU software, as well as the greats that invented Unix, and this is very coherent with John's presentation today. And so what we've done is not only have we built the software, but we've built hardware. This is our first version, the first model of our liquid router. That's our internal name for it. It's the Subtitled router. Here you go. And the new version of our router actually mines cryptocurrency. Yes, it makes you money. So just as a normal person, it serves as a physical wallet where you can see the coin that you're mining while your router sits there. and does what it does. And on top of that, you could share home computers and make more coin. And you could use this to buy goodwill, or if you like, you could trade it or press a button and have that convert into fiat currency, whether it's dollars or reais or anything else.
Okay, so let me just interrupt you for a bit. So if I'm sitting at home, I have my computer plugged in the wall, it's working, and I have the subtitle router, I'm pretty much making money out of doing nothing. Just sharing my resources.
Just share your resources, and it can pay for your electricity.
So if I am a university or a small IT computer industry, like I use my computers for 8 to 12 hours, the rest of the time, all of my resources would just making money for me while I'm sitting there.
Absolutely. The idea is we want there to be a supernova that creates millions of Amazons all around the world, and we want the cloud to operate on the edge where devices are, and we want it all to be contiguous. We don't want people to talk about the cloud and the fog, which is the cloud on land, the IoT part, the Internet of Things part. We don't want that to be separate because they're tied together.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point of view, because if you think about the amount of data that's going to be generated by the Internet of Things, you actually need a whole infrastructure of computers collaborating together to process all of that data, right?
Well, absolutely. And you don't want to transfer that, you don't want that back and forth of information to data centers in the cloud.
Right.
Versus data. What you want to do is keep that on the edge where the users are that are going to access them. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense to have the cloud and the fog as one, and they are in reality. Right? I mean, after all, cloud on land is the fog.
So let me ask the two guys a question in here, and I know that we are talking a lot, but considering the regulations that we have now here in Brazil that requires that the data in the public clouds stay in the country, like Subtitle looks like a perfect fit for that.
It's not only the fact that you need to have some data stay in the country, but you also have privacy concerns, and banks in particular, they need to know that the data is safe inside their bank, right? But they still want to use a cloud. So this allows them to set up their own private cloud of storing that, doing all that processing and having that data stay inside of their bank, but yet they could also have another cloud which allows them to utilize other resources which have less stringent requirements on them. So this is a very flexible cloud structure. In fact, we could even create a super tight cloud inside of Amazon if we want to, right?
Right.
So you can now select resources inside of that. This gives control back to the people instead of letting the control go to a company like Amazon or Google.
Fantastic. And well, of course, I understand that Subutai can be used by non-techie people. But if you think about a bank or a big organization that providing the software service, cloud services to government agencies, of course they will need professionals to take care of that infrastructure. And we are talking about Linux and open source, right? Yes. So of course, as the director of the Linux Professional Institute, I assume that we will require a lot of Linux certified professionals to take care of this infrastructure, right?
Yes. And as the chairman of the board of directors for the Linux Professional Institute, I think I would more insist that we have that type of certification. And I think that LPI, we're moving in the direction of allowing companies to fund the development of certifications that they feel is necessary for their business. And I, as the CEO of Optin, I would feel I have no problems in the world of funding the Linux Professional Institute to create that certification and funding that certification to be given to people at discount prices.
Alex, can we also expect a Subutai specific certification?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
All of those together.
Great. Thank you very much, guys, and thank you for being here in Porto Alegre at FIC 2017.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.